The war in Afghanistan. In the early 21st century, the war in Afghanistan, also known as the Afghanistan War, began in 2001 as a response to the 9/11 terrorist attacks on the United States. The U.S. and its allies invaded Afghanistan with the goal of destroying the Taliban government, which had harbored Al-Qaeda terrorists, and capturing or killing Al-Qaeda leader Osama bin Laden. The initial invasion of Afghanistan was successful, as the U.S.-led coalition quickly defeated the Taliban and took control of the major cities and towns. However, the war quickly shifted from one of conventional warfare to one of counterinsurgency, as the Taliban and other militant groups began to launch a guerrilla insurgency against the U.S. and its allies. The war in Afghanistan has been ongoing for over 2 decades and has been marked by a number of significant events and changes. In the early years of the war, the U.S. and its allies focused on defeating the Taliban and establishing a democratic government in Afghanistan. However, the country remained plagued by instability and violence, as the Taliban and other militant groups continued to launch attacks against U.S. and Afghan government forces. In 2009, U.S. President Barack Obama announced a new strategy for the war in Afghanistan, which focused on increasing the number of U.S. troops in the country and training Afghan security forces to take the lead in the fight against the Taliban. This strategy, known as the Surge, was successful in reducing violence and stabilizing some areas of the country. However, the war in Afghanistan has continued to be a difficult and costly conflict. Despite the presence of over 100,000 U.S. and NATO troops, the Taliban has been able to maintain control over large parts of the country and continue to launch attacks against U.S. and Afghan government forces. In 2011, U.S. Navy SEALs killed Osama bin Laden in a raid on his compound in Pakistan, which was seen as a significant victory in the war on terror. However, the war in Afghanistan continued, and the U.S. and its allies have struggled to make progress in the conflict. In 2014, U.S. President Barack Obama announced that the U.S. combat mission in Afghanistan would end by the end of the year. However, U.S. troops have remained in the country to train and advise Afghan security forces, and the war has continued. In recent years, the U.S. has focused on negotiating a peace deal with the Taliban. In February 2020, the U.S. signed an agreement with the Taliban, which provided for the withdrawal of U.S. troops from Afghanistan in exchange for security guarantees and a commitment to peace talks between the Taliban and the Afghan government. The war in Afghanistan has had significant consequences for the people of Afghanistan. The war has killed thousands of civilians and displaced millions of people. The country remains one of the poorest in the world, and many Afghans lack access to basic necessities such as food, water, and healthcare. The war has also led to the suppression of human rights, including the rights of women and children. The war has also had significant consequences for the United States and its allies. The war has cost trillions of dollars and has killed and injured thousands of U.S. and coalition soldiers. The war has also had a significant impact on U.S. foreign policy, as the U.S. has been involved in the conflict for over 2 decades. In conclusion, the war in Afghanistan is a complex and ongoing conflict that has had significant consequences for the people of Afghanistan, the United States and its allies. The war began in 2001 as a response to the 9/11 terrorist attacks, with the goal of destroying the